Hey everybody, welcome back to the CBR Art Lab. This is episode 5. Now we're interviewing Nima. Nima, thanks for joining.
Thanks for having me, dude. This is like really cool. Super stoked. Bobby's been talking to me about setting up a podcast since I've pretty much known him before podcasts were even cool. I was like, what are those things on like Apple Music? You want to set one of those up? What the hell is that? So it's like cool to see it like really coming to fruition, and like you guys have this whole thing, and it's like we're in a bus. Like when he told me that, I was like, "There's like, how are you gonna work that out, dude?" Like, and, like seeing it, like
it looks rad.
It's super rad. So good job, you guys.
Well, I don't even think we mentioned that we were in a bus. I don't think that ever came up.
No, this is the first time.
We're in a bus. Yeah. So
I'm on a boat.
It was thanks to Trevor and everyone that put the set together. So I like that he got a shout out. But
it's really cool with this thing. Like the ideas are there, and it's like every time I'm like, all right, this might work with anything we've done so far. Given the treatment center and like all the projects we had. And I'm like, dude, these ideas are cool, but like, how are we gonna like figure this out? And it's like, when I actually see it, like at the end product, I'm crazy. Whoa, like I would have never, like if it was just me, this would have looked like shit. Like,
me too. I mean, all I really did was put the microphones together. So that was my only job.
Great microphones.
Oh, thanks. But on that note, like, if people haven't seen our videos across socials so far, then they haven't met you yet. So perhaps this is a good time to do a little introduction.
Yeah, my name's Nima. I work at Carlsbad Beach Recovery as a program director. I helped start this thing from like ground up. Me and Bobby go back. It's like not only my business partner, who's been my supervisor for like the last like decade, but we're also like best friends. We were best friends before any of that happened. And he's kind of just been like my little Eskimo into a lot of different avenues in my life, and I literally think about it a lot. I'm like, I don't know where I would be if I hadn't been friends with this guy. Like a lot of the things that I love and like are a big part of like who I am were kind of inspired by this guy. So
where'd you guys meet?
We met like 10 years ago at a Hatebreed concert.
What's that?
It's a hardcore band from Connecticut, and I mean, I've always been into metal like since I was a kid. Head was loud, so I needed to like find music that was louder than my head.
Sure.
And then I was living up in LA at the time. I'm originally from Orange County. Actually, I was born in Philadelphia, which Bobby doesn't believe. I showed him proof, but he's like, "Nah, dude, you're not that cool." But yeah, I'm from Orange County. I was in LA at the time. I was doing a little stint in rehab, which was funny because like when I went to rehab, it was like all my friends were like, "Nima, you're like the more responsible one at all. So why are you in rehab? Like we should be in rehab, But I thought it was cool. I needed some street cred, so I decided to go do a little 90-dayer. And what ended up happening was while I was there, going through all the stuff that you go through and try to like refine who you are, it was like one of the things I didn't want to let go of was music, because like it was such a foundation. And at the time, like, like rap was really like popular, probably still is, but like it was like trap, house rap, Not that I really listened to that, so I was like, dude, I gotta continue listening to metal because like I'm gonna try to do this whole like recovery thing. I don't want to be listening to like music about popping Percocets every day.
That's fair.
That, like I was like, dude, it's not for me. So I gotta keep listening to metal, and being that like I originally got into that to like get my head quiet, like my head was louder than ever, without the vices that I have. And anyways, being there, like after I went through the program for a little while, the cool thing was it was a program called Sea Change. I was up in Santa Monica, and the guy who is essentially my role here at Carlsbad, his name is Josh Lazy, and he was the bass player for Danzig, which is who's the lead singer of the Misfits, you know, so he was like really into music and like understood that when like I felt like no one did. And I was like, one day I was like, hey dude, like doing everything I need to, can I go to this concert? And he was like, yeah, why not? He's like, just like if you get loaded, you can't come back here, you know. So I was like, all right. He's like, it's probably better if you go with someone, you know, who's like, you know, in recovery, so that way like if temptation comes, at least you have like some support. So I asked everyone that I knew at the time to like go with me to this show, and they were like, "Oh yeah, for sure." Like, what band? And I was like, "Hatebreed," and they're like, "Hatebreed? Yeah, I'm good. You know, I'm good. No, I'm okay. You know." And
They got
I was
scared.
like, I don't even want to let you hear the music. It's like, which surprisingly, it's like probably one of the most like positive kind of bands. You know,
It's like uplifting.
yeah, anytime I've ever gone through like a breakup or I've been depressed, like that is literally like my Prozac. You know, I just throw some Hatebreed on and I get like motivated and like I just feel better about myself. You know, anyways, long story short, or long story longer, I had no one to go with. So I called like one of my old buddies to go with, who was like, who's never like, he's the epitome of not having any type of problems, you know. So I hitch a ride from LA to Pomona, and you get there like 8 hours early, you know. And we're just sitting there, and I'm like probably smoking a pack a minute, you know, a pack of cigarettes a minute. Yeah.
You were.
And you know, I'm sitting there and just like probably like pacing around all this stuff, and there's this guy next to me. He's like, you know, he's like pretty built, got tattoos, and he just like starts striking up a conversation, probably because he saw that I was having like a panic attack every few minutes. Like, yo, dude, this guy probably needs to talk to someone. And it was Bobby, and he was just like talking to me. He's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Philadelphia." He's like, "No, you're not." So I was like, "Orange County," and then he's like, "Oh, I'm from Orange County." I'm like, "What part?" And I was like, "Mission Viejo." He's like, "Oh, I live there." And I was like, "Oh, cool, dude." And he's like, "Are you Persian?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, me too." He's like, "What are you doing out in LA right now?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm in treatment." He's like, "Oh, cool, I'm sober too." And I was like, "Fuck," you know, like that's really rad. I was like, "What do you do for work?" He's like, I work in treatment." And I was like, "Oh, that's what I want to do." You know, and I was like, "I'm guessing you like metal," you know. I saw all this stuff, and he was into martial arts and like jiu-jitsu, and I was doing Muay Thai at the time. So like, dude, we just had this natural connection, you know. And he was like nice enough. I kind of like, after like the 8 hours passed, you know, throughout that time, I was like, "Yeah, I'm really nervous. Like my first show, like out of like Rehab and stuff. Like I don't know what to do. I'm kind of scared of like getting loaded." He's like, "Oh, dude, just hang out with me the whole time. Like I'll show you what's up." So like we just hung out and started going to shows together, you know, just like as little meetup partners. And then he kind of was like, "Hey man, like you ever decide like once you get like a good amount of time you want to work in treatment, just hit me up. I'll kind of show you the ropes." So like I stayed in LA for like another 3 years after that, just because I didn't want to like go home, because there's like something in the water in Orange County for me, you know. And when I did decide to finally come back, I was like, "Hey Bob, like I probably need to get a job. Orange County is expensive as shit, you know." He's like, "All right, come work for me," but under the guise of like, he's like, "Dude, you have to go to school. You have to do this thing right. Like, I don't want you to turn out to be one of those like shitheads in treatment that just treat it like a job. Like it's got to be your passion."
I didn't want you to get trapped working in treatment.
Yeah.
Because I saw that a lot with a lot of my friends. They would just get like a bottom level job and just do that for 10 years with no aspirations. Like they wouldn't go to school, so they would just be like a tech for 10 years and just stay in there scared, like what do we call it? A get well job forever. So I was like, you gotta go to school, dude. You're like, this is the first step, not like where you're landing.
Yeah. So started going to school, learned a lot there, more so what not to do, you know, which came in like really handy, you know. And like Bob was always there to like be like, "Yo, you're fucking up. Don't do that. Like I see you doing this. Like, hey, stop," you know. So I wouldn't be where I am. I wouldn't have been able to start this place with Bobby or without him, you know, to get the knowledge that I needed to, you know, pretty much set this up and have it be an effective, you know, useful place for people.
It's awesome.
But yeah, that's kind of like our little origin story, so, you know. But yeah, it's kind of like the setup of like what I do here, you know. It's I run the program. It's really cool because like it is a newer program, but like what's happened is being that we've like worked together in the industry for so long, like we've gotten to a point where we know the right players, who to work with, and who's like really good at what they do, and who works well with us. So being that this is like a new kind of treatment center, we have a really long history with the staff that we're working with.
We also he's leaving out the gap where like we worked at a bunch of treatment centers together, so we have seen exactly what we hate about treatment to make this everything we love about treatment. Because it's not a perfect industry, just like any other industry. And there's problems, and there's people that are in it for the wrong reasons, people that are in it for the right reasons, and we saw both, and we got to take out like what didn't work, what did we hate, what were the things that like we wanted to do that we weren't allowed to do, and so we got to like, and we pretty much think the same way. We have the same values, we from the same area, same interests. So especially here too, it's like what works for us. Oh, the clients are doing that. Like we like jiu-jitsu, you like jiu-jitsu now. Like
Yeah. I guess it kind of begs the question, because we jumped to what it's like today, but you mentioned like no one expected you to go to rehab in the beginning. Like, how did you get to that point?
Dude, so I mean, like just like how anyone gets to rehab, you're probably like, growing up, trying to fit in, and it's like socially awkward. So like maybe when someone like is like, hey, you want to hang out with us and like go smoke a joint or something, I was like, yeah, let's do it, and I grew up like with like really good parents, like really great values, like I grew up knowing that like addiction is like a real thing, and like it's scary, but I also like was like curious, and like I said, I had a loud head, like grew up with anxiety all the time, like what's my place gonna be in life and stuff. So like I kind of wanted to just fit in and shut my head up, so it just starts like how anyone's story really starts. It's not like anything, it wasn't anything like wild, it's like I didn't get in a car and get in an accident and kill someone, and then it was like the courts were like, you need to go to treatment or something, really, really kind of boring story. It's growing up in Orange County, it can be boring, as nice of an area as it is, and like sometimes you're just sitting at home with friends, and it's like, dude, let's go into the parents' like medicine cabinets.
normal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that you called it like boring normal stuff. Like,
Yeah.
to me, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, keep telling me more.
Well, when you like worked in the industry and been a part of like recovery for so long, you hear so many crazy stories, where it's like, oh yeah, mine wasn't that.
I get
wild.
that.
Which can be like a really common thing, because like the thing that's like, if we're talking about addiction, it's like a lot of people suffer from this thing where it's like, I suffer from something that tells me I don't have it every day for me to like go back out, or like, give it another shot. It wasn't so bad, even like right now, as I'm like, it wasn't like that crazy. But like when you've worked in the industry, work with like so many different populations and people, you see like people with like really big problems, and you're like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it didn't make, for me and like a lot of other people, it might not have made sense, because it wasn't like, I was always kind of like, given that I like came from a good family, good values, surrounded by like well-to-do people, like businessmen, doctors, lawyers, like those were like the people in my family, like I knew that like doing drugs and like drinking every day as a teen was probably not the right thing to do, right? But like it kind of gets a grip on you, and you don't realize like how quick time passes, and like the opportunities that are missed out. That you don't value time when you're young, and I went to treatment when I was pretty young, like comparatively to other people, like I was like 23 years old. Bobby met me when I was 23. I'm like 34 now, so
And one time in treatment.
yeah,
Just
one and done.
That I told my dude, you weren't a real addict.
He wasn't going for your high score.
I didn't want to.
It's like one time in treatment, dude. Dang, dude, that's crazy.
I didn't want to, dude. I went there and I was like, dude, you guys are crazy, bro. Like I was in treatment. The place I went through, I was probably like their 10th alumni, or like their 19th alumni. Like it could have been more than that. And they were just getting started. So they had like a lot of like parolees and stuff. So like my roommate was like a 6'5" white dude who weighed like 300 pounds, lean, and had a Mexican accent. Hey, fool. you know, like that. And like he could literally write a book on like making your bed because he was so like institutionalized.
Wow.
You know, so he's like, hey, your bed's not made. And like our room always smelled of bleach, you know, bleach cleaned everything, you know, so it was like, I was like, oh, dude, I might be in the wrong spot. But also, like, seeing, like, everyone's story, like, meeting Bobby, where he's like, dude, I've went through treatment, like, a billion fucking times.
Mm.
So I don't want to do that. I don't ever want to go back to a place like this.
Mm.
I had the best experience ever, and I learned a lot about myself, and, you know, like, my parents were super proud of me. Everyone was super proud of, like, what I had done, because even though, like, I might downplay my story, I had a problem, you know? It was, like, real, you know? Like, I had like medical issues from like the habits that I had, you know, whether it was directly correlated with like substance use or alcohol use, you know, or not, you know, or just like the shenanigans you get into, like it was real, you know. And by going through that experience, like I was like, dude, maybe like my story hasn't got to where other people's story has gotten to, but I can see it getting there.
Sure.
Where they're getting to, maybe like explaining like maybe like 30 minutes into telling their story, that's where mine like kind of stopped. But they had another 30 minutes that I did not want to have as a part of my story, you know. And I was like, all right, dude, like I kind of have to do everything these people are saying, because they're saying there is a chance, you know, even given that like you go into these things and they're like, hey man, relapse is a part of it, and like you might like this, you might have to go through treatment a bunch of times. But if you do everything that we're like telling you, you know, those chances are way lower. So it's like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, and it's like he had enough like self-respect to not drop his bottom. And I think that's like really what it comes down to, because like everyone says like, you know, you hit rock bottom, but if you stay at a low for a certain amount of time, you get accustomed to that low, and then you can go like, you can get a little bit worse or whatever.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a lot of times where for me it was like, dude, I will never let myself get to that point. But then things are at a certain level of suck for so long that like you don't really see it getting lower. So over time, where I said I will never let myself get to that point, it's like, oh, I got way past that.
Yeah, you keep moving the goalposts. Yeah. Also, though, like one positive way to kind of look at it is like that's probably what all those people wanted to happen from sharing their story for 60 minutes. Yeah. They probably wanted you to hear the part that you could relate to and then see where it could go.
That's always the goal when you're like sharing your experience, you know, like even like to this day when I'm like talking to people, whether they're in our program or they're not in our program, it's like, hey, dude, like maybe there is some things that like you can take away from my story where you don't have to go through that, you know, because it hasn't been like, oh yeah, I went through treatment once, I'm like the shining example, you know. It's like, dude, I made mistakes. I was young when I got clean, you know, like it was I still had to grow up, you know, and that comes with its like, you know, with its consequences and stuff like that. So I had to learn a lot, you know. But you know, it's not so much like how you come in for me, it's like what you do after that, you know. And like I think like surrounding yourself with like good people, you know, and like more so not people who like know what to say and like the right answers, but know what not to do, you know. And like given that like, you know, I went through treatment once, you know, and like Bobby has all this experience, I would always ask him, I'd be like, yo, dude, am I screwed up here? Like, what am I doing? He's like, no, keep doing what you're doing. Like, you're on the right track. Or he's like, hey man, adjust this. Or like, dude, you need a hobby, you know, like you can't just be like going full-fledged into this thing out of fear.
He had a record number of sponsees.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he was telling me, I was like, because I was under the impression of like, hey man, I need to work with others to like keep myself good.
Step 12.
Yeah, step 12, you know. And like I treated that as like almost an addiction, you know, where it was like it was never enough, you know. And like I wore myself thin, you know, where he was like, yo, dude, you need to chill out, like go, you can be helpful, and you are, but like don't stay in this one niche, you know, like branch out, because that's what it's all about, you know. It's like I didn't get clean and sober and go through rehab and deal with the trials of addiction and getting like being in recovery to just isolate myself, you know. And like that was kind of the direction I was heading in. And Bobby was like, hey dude, like you can be helpful to people outside of this too, and you can like go and have an experience. And like one thing that I always kind of say to people is like, hey man, stay sober long enough to have a sober story to tell, but it's got to be like compelling. You know, you got to like catch people. And like for me, like the things that always caught my attention was like, oh dude, this guy's like really cool. He does like a lot of cool things, and he's got like this crazy life that I would have never thought were in the books for me, you know. And like kind of goes back to what I was saying in the beginning of like what got me into recovery. I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know if I could like achieve things, you know. Like I had like really low self-esteem. So like the turning point was like finding things like jiu-jitsu, you know, which were really hard. And like where it's like you go up against a guy like this and you're like, how am I gonna ever like beat this guy, you know, or like, stand a chance even, you know. And it's like you get in there and then you realize the coolest part is like, oh, this does not differ very much from like anything like a program like 12 steps or AA, you know. It's like a group of people just trying to get better day by day. Might not be in recovery, you know, which surprisingly in those avenues, like there's a lot of people in recovery, you know, or like trying to like better themselves, you know. So it's like I went into that circle and I was like, oh dude, this is like the same thing, you know. There's principles, there's the fundamental idea of altruism to help everyone like who you come into contact with get better at whatever they're dealing with, you know. In this facet, it's choking people out, you know. And, you know, you have this community of people who show up for you, you know, like jiu-jitsu for me doesn't start and end on the mats. Like those people like have helped me walk through like really, really tough times, you know, like dealing like my now fiance at the time with my girlfriend, I brought her in, you know, because she was like dealing with anxiety and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, this helps my anxiety. Might as well try it out, you know.
You brought your fiance in to beat her up?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
No, she was doing the beating.
She signed the consent, so it was, no. But like, yeah, she beat me up, dude. So I was like, oh damn.
She was reading me. I was like, dude, what the heck?
Yeah, dude. She actually, when she came into jiu-jitsu, she was like, you had to tell her to calm down.
Like, you're mean.
Yeah, dude. She was like putting her elbow into our faces, and I'm like, dude, I kind of don't want to roll with you, you know. No, but she had a great time, dude. And like, I'm a big proponent of like, you know, women learning self-defense, you know, given the industry we're in, you hear a lot of horror stories, but yeah, you know, it's just about like helping people, you know. So like I found that like being that I was like, I felt that I found something in recovery that I could be good at, you know, and I could be passionate about. It wasn't hard to find the transferability of that into other things.
Dude, you know what? You know, there's such a strong correlation between jiu-jitsu and recovery, because you go into it and like you suck, and then like you suck, everybody sucks, and like when you start it, you're like you're going against these people and they're just making you feel like a towel, like they can do whatever they want with you, and you can't even fathom the idea of ever getting funny story. So I remember when Nima started, and I was like, and I'd been so like, not to like belittle him, but I'd been doing jiu-jitsu since I was a kid, so I was able to do whatever I wanted to him. And
pretty much raped me.
And I've got like video clips that
He's got evidence.
And I remember like our professor was like, you've got to be nicer to Nima, because I was just doing like silly stuff that like just didn't even like that were I just made stuff. I would just make stuff up, and I was like, I've got a 6-month period where I can do whatever I want to him, and then he's gonna get good, and then he's gonna beat me. So I was like, I'm gonna take advantage of it. And like, dude, like he's hard as hell to beat now. Like he got really good, but that's like the correlation between, I think, the recovery and jiu-jitsu is you do it and you suck and you think you're never going to be able to do it, and I'm never going to be as good as these other people, and all you have to do is just keep coming.
Keep showing up.
And it's like, and that's the same correlation as the one day at a time in recovery. It's like it's inevitable. You're going to get good, and you're going to stick around these people in this community, like the AA community, who no one's on drugs. I mean, they probably smoke weed. Most of them smoke weed. But like, you know, we're surrounded by people who are like professionals. They've got careers. They're accountable. They're coming in every night. They're training. And then a lot of times we just go to hang out because we just like these group of dudes. But the same exact thing as like AA. You know, at a certain point, like I don't really have cravings anymore, but like I just want to go hang out with my friends. So there was like this huge tie between the two different communities. But then all of a sudden, one day you sub somebody and you're like, dude, did I get good? Well, it's the same thing as one day you take your 90-day chip, one day you take your 6-month chip. So it's like incremental like success in it, and it's this confidence builder of saying like, dude, all I had to do is just keep coming around and just keep showing up. So that's why we're like a huge advocate of like
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu in our program as well.
You like never forget it either. You know, like I remember the first time, like I'd probably gotten a sub on him like twice. You know, but I remember the first one, and like ironically, it was really funny because he would do like silly shit on me, like embarrassing, like he would like pull my ear or something. I'm like, tap tap tap, what the hell, you know, like stuff like that. I got him in this thing called a wrist lock, and I hit it, and he tapped. And first, I didn't. I thought he was like joking or something, or like I like thought someone was tapping me on the shoulder to get my attention. I was like, no, I tapped, and then I was like immediately started apologizing to him. So and he's like, no, that's good.
Yeah, I was so proud of him. Yes,
I was
dude.
like,
Yes.
I was like, oh shit, dude, like I can get better. Like the impossible, like happened, you know? Because like the first time I went, first few years, I was like, dude, I'm never gonna get like. Still had that like kind of like low self-esteem thing, like, oh, like I'm better than I was, but I'll never be this good. Like you come into like a treatment center like CBR, you know, and you're like, oh yeah, these guys are telling me it's gonna be possible for me to attain what I want to attain, but I'll never be on their level. Like they're so far ahead.
It's literally the same thing. It's like, dude, for the first like year and a half, jiu-jitsu doesn't even make sense. For the first year or so, even in early recovery, like you don't know what you're doing or what you should be doing. You're just like following other people's leads.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing. So like then at a certain point, one day it clicks and you're like, oh, dude, I get it now. I just gotta do the next right step.
Yeah. It's interesting because like I think that the path that you kind of described that you were on is like you were becoming like a professor of recovery, if that makes sense. Like how if you go to school and your professor's only thing that they did was learn this one book and that's what they're teaching you. Like I can remember the professors that I had in college that I respected the most were the ones that were formerly employed in whatever the field was that they were teaching, and now they were coming in and sharing like, back when I was doing this, it felt like that, like extra experiences. Do you think that kind of aligns?
Yeah, totally. I mean, like those were like my biggest role models. Yeah, like I said, that guy who is
Josh.
Josh, the owner of the treatment center, like he was actively working in recovery, but then I would also see him like in the meetings too, like going up, sharing, sponsoring dudes, like doing that. Like Bobby, same thing. Like he was like working in treatment and like engaging his recovery like outside of that when we hung out, you know, because we're like friends first and then like working together, so I got to see like that, and those guys are like my role models, you know. So it's like, yeah, if you can't just like teach something and not do it too. Right. I mean, you can, but like, wouldn't you want someone who's like practicing what they're preaching, you know, in any facet,
and building up those cool experiences so like they're not just doing recovery, like you can overdo it, I guess,
right? Because like one thing that like one of our professors in jiu-jitsu says is like practice doesn't make perfect, but it makes permanent, you know. And like if you're doing something that you want to devote your life to, where you want it to be a permanent part of you, you know.
Sure.
So yeah, man, it's like it's my biggest thing with recovery or anything now that I've learned is like, dude, just have like really solid role models. And that's the thing. It's like my self-perception of myself, like of like who I am isn't that all the time, you know. But like coming in here and seeing like people at their starting points reminds me of that. Like, oh, I started right there too, you know, like the struggles they had, like I had and still have, you know. And like I once again don't want to go back through the treatment process, even though it's a daily part of my life now, you know. But I'm just on this side of it, and that's like what kind of keeps me maintaining. Plus it's like, hey man, there's gonna be whole other generations that need this help, and like if it wasn't for guys like Bobby and Josh, you know, he kept going in their path, like I might have never gotten that experience from the junk, you know. And it was like, it's motivating, man, because you always gotta want like whoever you're dealing with, whether, you know, it's not like a hierarchy, but if you're helping someone, you almost want them to be better than you. You know. And like that's like one thing that I learned from Bobby, like just through his own interactions with me. He's like like he said, he's like, hey, I got 6 months before you can start, like you're gonna start like being a real problem for me on the mats, you know. But it's like yeah, dude, like I want that same attitude towards like the people who are like, you know, lower down the line in their journey than where I am, whether it's jiu-jitsu, recovery, whatever. Like I want you guys to get better than me, because that's going to overall make me better too.
Sure.
You know, so it's like, it's it almost seems like there's like a cosmic formula, to life that we've been able to kind of tap into. Do I understand it? No, right? But I can try my best to like keep going on the path. Sure. And that's what's kept me like out of treatment. It's just like, dude, I just try my best, and some days my best doesn't seem good enough, or like I'm too tired, to do the thing. But that's where like showing up comes in handy, because I've been like leaving work or something. I'm like, I'm not going to go to this thing, whether it's a meeting or it's a jiu-jitsu class, or like, no, I just got to go. I got to go. Because if I had the same mentality of skipping throughout the times where I actually went, like I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't have this super cool thing that I'm into, and like, it's really rad when like, we get like new clients who come in, they're like, oh dude, you're into all this cool stuff. Like, I want to get into that.
Yeah.
Or I'm like, oh, maybe I have kind of got to that point where like the people I admire, like I kind of resemble some of those things.
That's awesome.
And it's just like building up to that, but super fortunate, man. I don't take it for granted either. With after like my story is now what it is, deal with people every day who have like gone through like really tough lives and like have these really big but very real problems, and I'm like kind of like knock on wood. I'm like, dude, I'm so stoked that I had people around me, who kind of guided me and like kept me from like making some of those mistakes, maybe that they made or they saw other people make. Like going back to like what Bobby first said, he's like, I didn't want him to be a decade-long tech. I wanted him to move up and stuff. So he like guided me. He's like, don't do this, don't do that, take this job. Oh, that, I was like, dude, that job sucks. He's like, yeah, but it'll lead to this next thing.
And I had to get him to start making more money so I could drag him to all these things with me.
Oh yeah, dude. He'd been like doing his thing for a long time. So I was like, dude, I can't afford to do all this stuff you're doing, but like, we both needed a buddy.
Oh yeah, but not just not like. Recovery is what gave us a life, but then we filled our life with like life. I mean, we do so much stuff. I mean, we like literally like fly around the country to go see concerts, or like go to fights, or like travel to do tournaments, or like.
That was really cool, dude. When we went to Arizona, it was like, so yeah, being that we've been like friends for so long and in recovery for so long, like, one of the gnarly points in both of our lives was like COVID lockdowns, and like, I think I had just really gotten the jiu-jitsu bug like right before COVID hit. And then COVID hit, and like, obviously it's a contact sport. Like there was no training, right. And, and there's like no meetings, it was all like on Zoom and stuff. So there's like, they say the opposite of addiction is connection, right? There's like no connection. You had internet connection, right? So, yeah, we were like really isolated. So like the first chance we got, was
Arizona State Open.
Yeah, Arizona State Open, like 2020. I think it was like September or October or something like that. It was like the end of the year, maybe even December, right? And it was like, there was no tournaments or anything going on in California. So Arizona, being that they're more of like a conservative state, they're like, yo, screw this lockdown shit. This is like really late. Like we're opening up. So we were like, all right, let's go. I was like, dude, I haven't trained in like a year. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I was like going to the park doing like 100 pull-ups a day, like barely, and like, just like, I was like really jacked, but like I had no jiu-jitsu, dude. And like, Bobby like had been doing it long enough to where like he didn't need to train, but he was like still good. And you were still training with like a couple people like that you knew. Right?
I still had Stas when we were training.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So he was like training. So he was like, all right, you're coming with me. So like, we started training like maybe a month before that, and just going through stuff. And like, I still had no idea what jiu-jitsu was. I was like maybe like 2 stripe white.
You didn't, yeah. It hadn't clicked for him yet.
Yeah, I was just like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna go to this thing because like I miss it, you know. And so we went, like we traveled up there. I taught Bobby about cruise control when we went there because he didn't know about that. We like got pulled over and like you got a ticket for like speeding because it's an open road during the lockdown too. So there's no cars, so you can't like gauge how fast you're going unless you're like looking at it. So we're just like speeding there, and he had his dogs in the car, so I think he wanted to get there quick. So we got pulled over. I was like, dude, why don't you just put on cruise control? Like just set it at like.
What's
70.
that?
Changed his life, dude. And anyways. we get there and it was like, first of all, the whole place was open. It was like nothing ever happened. I was like, cool, you know. But like on the flip side, it was like, oh, dude, we got to do this. This was like something I never experienced. Like we're traveling to go fight Peaker, you know. And we went there, and I didn't think I had a chance, dude. And I actually ended up placing.
So he did the gi, and he didn't do good, and he hurt his shoulder, and he's like, I don't think I'm gonna do the no gi. I'm like, do the no gi, and then he placed, like he killed it.
What is gi and no gi?
So gi, there's Jiu-Jitsu traditionally has like two different like facets to it, right? The gi is like the kimono, right? It's the pajamas you wear and are able to grab like people's like collars and their sleeves and stuff. No gi is more of like what you kind of see,
Just like shirt and shorts.
yeah, shirt and shorts, like what people see in like UFC, you know, like so there's the two facets. In this tournament they had both styles, right? So we signed up for both styles, right? And it was like cool because I got smoked in the gi, which is a little bit more complicated. I actually ended up getting my first match. I got a submission, but I just like tried to break the guy's neck. It wasn't like anything technical, you know. It, like shouldn't have happened.
It was
just like
yeah. It didn't look like he had it. And I was like, dude, let go. I was like, oh shit, the guy tapped. What the heck?
oh shit! I popped my shoulder out there too.
It was because we were working out. All we were doing was working out. So he was just strong as hell. So he just got this guy like essentially a guillotine. Then just the guy was like, I'm gonna break my neck if I don't tap.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude. So, anyways, I like hurt my shoulder, and I was like, dude, like you said, I couldn't. I was like, I don't know. He's like, dude, like go, like give it a shot.
I was like, we're here. Like you might as well.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, dude, whatever. And yeah, it went, and like I took second in it, and I was like super stoked, and that got me more hyped up for jiu-jitsu, right? So it was like taking a chance, you know. Once again, like taking direction, doing what you don't want to do, and then like you're like you usually super surprised with the outcome. You're like, oh man, and it just comes from like what we've been talking about, just showing up. You know, I showed up, and I showed up again even when I didn't want to.
Yeah,
and that's like, I could probably say anything about my journey so far. It's like just doing a lot of shit that I don't want to do, not because like I don't think it's good for me. It's because like maybe I just like maybe it's like that self-fulfilling prophecy thing of like, oh, I'm not good enough, you know, or whatever. And then you go and you're like, oh shit, like
I actually can do it.
yeah, I can do it.
I think that if someone's watching and they're someone that's maybe still actively in addiction, or maybe they're on the tail end and they're thinking about getting help, it might be like a thought in their head of like, I could never enjoy something like that as much as I can enjoy using or gambling or drinking. You know, do you have a message to that person?
Totally, dude. And like kind of like, since this is like a origin story podcast a little bit, that concert that I went to with Bobby where we first met, I was really afraid that like, because I was like, dude, like I've given up everything. That's kind of what it felt like, right? When I first got there. So I was like, what if I don't like concerts? What's like, it's like really lame and I just have a bad time. Then what am I gonna, what's left, you know? I went and I hung out with him. Dude, it was the best time I've ever had at a concert. Like, I remember the whole thing. Like, I wasn't leaving the concert broke. I actually had, like, a T-shirt that I bought there, you know? And, like, you know, because, like, when you're going to concerts, like, getting loaded, you got to, like, get your fix. And you got to get your drugs and make sure you have enough drugs for afterwards, you know? Because that's when, like, the pain hits. So when you're going to metal shows, you know, moshing. But, dude, I had, like, the most fun ever to where that became, like, dude, I was going to, like, it felt like we were going to shows, like, every weekend.
We were going to a lot of shows.
Yeah. We've seen, like, every band 1,000 times.
And we just had a redo at that venue.
Yeah, dude.
So we both went to so we've been doing this program for the past year straight, and we haven't been going to concerts. We've been doing, like, less jiu-jitsu. We've been, like, dedicated on, like, let's make this the best thing we can possibly do. Anyways, there was a band that we had to see, and they were playing at that same venue. So we went, like, I think it was, like, a month ago. And we were like, dude, it was, like, the reunion of, like, us becoming friends. And also it was, like, such a sick show. And, like, also brought us back to, dude, we like, because we were both afraid. There was, like, because we're old now, dude. Like, what if we don't like concerts anymore? Because like the whole time I'm like, dude, I'm not really metal anymore. Like,
we're like the old guys in the back that were like, oh, dude, like.
Yeah, we used to always be like in the pit on the rail, and then we were like just like standing at the edge, like all the guys, and just like, this is cool.
Yeah.
But it's still fun.
It was rad. No,
Dude, we had a blast. Like,
Yeah.
It was like it like pumped us up.
we were like we forgot.
Still got it. It's like Lethal Weapon. We're not too old for this shit, you know.
But that's what recovery is all about. Like you don't get sober to get sober. Like that's not the end goal. Like the end goal is like I'm getting sober so that I can have a life, and like we've done a good job because we got so much in common. Like we do so much stuff. Like we're doing we will try new things. Like we're doing like hot yoga. Like I thought that was like super lame.
I love hot yoga.
Yeah, we love it.
You're a hot yoga guy?
I love hot yoga.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Well, like Jiu-Jitsu, we're going hikes. We're just like, let's just go to this random thing. It's like, oh, like Kevin Hart's gonna go do his autograph signing. Like, let's just go there random. Like, just like do whatever, because it's easy to just be like, I just want to lay around and not do anything. But like, we'll do things that like come off lame. It's like, dude, it's like, let's go play pickleball. You know what I mean? Like,
It's pickleball.
Now you're getting to my stuff. Hot yoga, pickleball. Like I've never fought anyone, but I play a lot of pickleball.
We almost got into a fight over pickleball.
yeah.
Trying to merge the two
Not because we were
worlds.
starting shit, because like, we're like, you know, we've been training for a while, so like what that does for you is like it makes you not want to get into the fight.
Interesting.
Right? Like you're like, dude, I do this on the mats. Like I'm not trying to go into a chaotic environment.
Or it's like, if I actually want to fight someone that knows how to fight, I'll just go to my school. I'm not gonna go beat you up.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's like bro who sees red. I don't want to.
Interesting.
But like, yeah, we went to this like BD thing, and it was put on by like a lot of our friends, you know, in the industry, and like it was a pickleball tournament. We never played pickleball. We were like, you know what, dude,
It'll be fun. It'll be
yeah,
cool.
we'll go try it out. We'll have fun. You know, we won't take it seriously, and like just do what we do.
And
We went
everyone
there,
was so
and
serious.
everyone there was like a semi-pro. Like acted like it, you know.
Like they wanted that trip. Like they wanted
had,
to
like,
win.
Cool things that they did with their rackets. Like every time they scored, they were like, you know, like to each other, and like it was like, oh, you guys actually do.
They had like sequenced high five things, you
Yeah,
know, like
exactly,
dude, you guys
you know?
do this.
So we went there, and I'm like just trying to Andre Agassi and Cerruti, like, and like, dude, people got pissed at us.
Really?
They were like, you guys need to take this seriously. That's not that you can't do that. Like, don't you know the rules?
We're like, we'll tell you what, you can win. We just want to play.
Yeah, yeah, dude, but it was fun, you know, and like even going, and that's like the thing with like, you know, like what life is today. It's like, don't take yourself too seriously, you know, and that's kind of like what we do, you know. That's like another like little thing about it, but like, yeah, dude, like hot yoga, bro. Like Bobby was doing it, and he was trying to get me into that too. Like for the longest time, I was like, bro, I'll go wrestle with you, man. We'll go to concerts like every day, you know. I'll be broke, but I'm not doing hot yoga. Like,
Because when you hear, for any dude that like hears hot yoga, they were like, dude, that's like some flowery hippie, like whatever. Like, no, dude, like
It's tough.
those chicks in there are gnarly, and like you're going there, you're just dripping sweat. It's hard, and you're like, I just want to give up. So it's like super like mentally tough.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, we fell in love with that. We were doing that like I mean, we were going like every day at one.
yeah, we were doing that more than anything else, and like, that was like the one group in treatment that I always skipped. It was yoga. I said, nah, you know, I don't need to stretch, even though like I'm probably the most unflexible, you know. But yeah, it's just like also like just being open to like something new, and he like finally convinced me to go, and like, yeah, dude, it was hard and it was humbling.
Yeah.
We were working out, we were training, like I thought I was like this masculine dude and like in shape. And I went there, dude, and literally, you probably know, like, I was on my mat, like, dying.
Yep.
The whole time, dude. From the, like, right at the warm-up. Like, I couldn't even get through the warm-up.
They tell you just to lay there.
Yeah, and then there's, like, this, like, you know, 60-year-old nice-looking, like, lady, you know, like, just doing every pose, like, effortlessly. And I'm just like, you know, and, like, you walk in, you're like, who are these guys? You know, like, already, like, picking people apart, you know, and, like, you're like, dude,
I'm gonna smoke you.
Yeah.
We used to do I used to be in pretty good shape when I played soccer in high school, and our coach used to look up like Navy SEAL workouts, and that's what we would do in the summer. So it'd be like 100 degrees almost outside. We'd be sprinting. I had a harder time with the hot yoga than I did with the Navy SEAL sprints.
Dude, when I want, like, let's say, like, I have a coworker that's, like, kind of pissing me off, you know, like, getting like, on my nerves. Make them hot yoga, just, like, watch them see God, you know? Like, they're just, like, dying and panting, you know? So it's, it's fun, but they usually are like, yo, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah. Shout out Sweat Star.
Yeah. Sweat Star Yoga, dude. That's our spot.
Hmm.
It's funny, you know, like starting this place, like we're originally from Orange County, coming to Carlsbad, it's not that far. You know, it's probably like a 45-minute drive, you know, south of Orange County. But like, it was like, you get to like start over, you know, and I've done that throughout my journey. You know, I like lived up in LA for a little while, came back to Orange County, had to have like a new experience there, change up my life, you know, and then coming here is like kind of the same thing, but like having had those prior experiences, I was like, all right, we can figure this out. I went to a yoga studio out here. I won't say like which one, but like,
Sucks.
yeah, it sucked. It was like not the same. And I was
Wasn't
like,
as hot or what?
Just different.
yeah, I was just like, yeah, it just was different,
Yeah.
you know, and I was like,
Because we had our spot.
yeah, and that's like the thing too. It's like once you like find your people and you find your tribe, it is hard to like break off with that. But like anytime we go back, it's like we're right at home again.
Nice.
You know? And it's like everyone's stoked to see us, and like all of that. So it's like it's cool to be able to be a part of things today too, you know. But yeah, hot yoga, like all this stuff, like I would have never thought, dude. I would be like, you know, raffling dudes, going to tournaments, kickboxing, like all that stuff. Like it was never in the books for what I had envisioned for myself. But these are things that I will not give up. Like you could not pay me, put a gun in my head, like whatever. Like I will not give these things up because like they've been so like formative.
Yeah, because your question prior was something like, well, the answer was like, did you imagine while you were like out there using like a life like this? It's like, dude, I couldn't even understand the concept of like, I have to get a job. I couldn't understand the concept of like, wait, like I can't use drugs again. Like that doesn't even, literally, that didn't even make sense to me. And when I would go to meetings and see people like say they're sober, I'm like, no, you're not. Like you for sure smoke weed. Like I didn't understand even the concept of like, what do you mean that you don't do anything? Like anything? Like you're lying.
Yeah.
You're a liar. It doesn't mean.
But that's like the thing too. It's like now, like if I would go back to like what I was doing then, I'd be doing nothing. You know, it's like we have so much. You know, and like, dude, life's still hard. Life's still, I'm still Nima. You know, like I still have my issues and stuff that I have to deal with. But like, I think like once again, the thing that we try to teach here, and the thing that I try to remind myself of is like community is like so important. Like just having people around you, because like they're going through the same things too. But if you're isolating yourself all the time, you never get that sense of like, yo, I'm not alone, right? You know, in this, and like I'm not the only person who feels these things. That's like the cool part about having groups. You know, it's like you can get a lot done in one-on-one individual therapies, but like sitting in a group and like sharing or like hearing someone else share and being able to like connect, you know, it's I think it like bonds a lot better to the overall cause of what we're trying to achieve. You know, it's like, oh yeah, like I feel that way. Maybe I didn't even know I felt that way, but hearing dudes say it over here, like I do, you know. And like even in the relationship of like me and Bobby, like I would like talk to him and say, oh, you know, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that, and he's like, dude, come do what I'm doing, like it'll help. I'm like, yo, bro, how is that gonna help? You know, and I'd go and like it would help. You know?
Yeah, I'm like, I already went through that a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Just do this.
It sounds so easy, you know, but it really is sometimes. Like, I'm the person who makes these things hard on myself by, like, not wanting to go or, you know, trying to self-sabotage, you know, which is, like, something that I'm, like, really good at, you know? Yeah, like, when I, like, and it's, like, cool how certain things align, right? It almost, like, it's, like, hard to deny divinity. You know, to a certain sense, like I needed someone to go with to that concert, and I asked everyone, and it wasn't panning out.
Right.
But it was like on my time. Like I wanted to force like someone to go with me, and then when I was like, whatever, dude, like I'm just gonna go and like we'll see what happens. Bobby was right there, you know, and it was like my higher power, whatever you want to call it, isn't ever on time.
Jesus.
Yeah, you know, like shout out Jesus. But yeah, dude, it's never on time. It's never what I want it to be. And thank God, literally, you know, like it's not, because if it was, it'd probably get messed up.
That's actually something I've been like, it been in my prayers for the past couple of weeks, is I need to get out of God's way. I'm constantly creating problems for myself because I'm trying to control every situation and I get fixated on it that like literally like every time I like let it go, it works out when I say like I'm giving it to God to figure it out. And it's like we overcomplicate, catastrophize, like we like blow everything up that we don't need to, and we like constantly make everything worse.
Dude. Yeah, totally. On that note, but like kind of another note, it's crazy to hear this guy talk about God, right? Because when I met him, I don't know if you ever discussed this on the podcast, but Bobby was like the most atheist dude I've ever met.
We did previous episode.
Yeah, dude, the most atheist. Like, I would not talk about God because he would like try to convince me against my own beliefs. You know, not like in a bad way. He would just be talking about like his beliefs, and then I'd be like, oh, kind of got a point. You know, but I was like super into it through like my time in the program and like going through recovery. You know, that's like for some people it's a big part of it. You know, given that spiritual aspect. But like to see him here and like where he's at now is like so cool, but also like I don't want to say uncomfortable, but like wait,
Different.
sometimes I have to like
He literally told me, he's like, I'm waiting for this to be the most like elaborate gotcha ever. He's like, I'm waiting for you just to be like, I got you, nerd.
It was funny because like there's like all these times where I was like, dude, like like I like really believe in God, you don't, and it's cool. There's like and we're like we have a really cool like brotherly relationship where we like get along, like do a lot of the same shit. We're also like really mean to each other. It's just like brothers are, it's like sap them over there, like, bitch, like shit like that. But we were like talking one night. He's like, yeah, I don't think you believe in God. And I was just like, what? Like you? Like, me? Like, are you kidding me? But he's like, and he was like going off. I was like, what? You know what? I'm not even going to say anything because I'm so happy. I'm so happy that you're at where you're at. Yeah, dude, I don't even believe in God. But, like, I believe in God because now he believes in God, like, even more, Oh, dude, like, nice. That's, you did what I get better to do, like. But it's, like, it's cool, man. And that's, like, the thing. It's, like, you never know where this journey's going to end up.
Yeah, bro. Let alone me not thinking I could ever get sober. Like, me thinking I would believe in God.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, literally, like you never know where the journey's gonna end up, So don't call it, like you literally can't call it. Like I said in the beginning, like I would have never thought like this was how my life was gonna end up. If you asked me at 22 before I went and had this whole experience that I was gonna, help open up a treatment center and like doing all this other stuff and like dude. If you would have asked me if I thought I would have been engaged to a Persian woman, I would have been like, no chance, dude. Like, too weird, too close to home. Being like, but like, dude, the way things turned out, like, I have like the best relationship, and it's like a part. Like, I would have never had that if it wasn't for the things that I had been through. The things that I've learned, the changes that I made in my own life, and what I saw was in the books for me.
Yeah.
Like literally. If I had not gone to yoga with Bobby, me and my fiance, we probably would have never clicked the way we did because she was like super into yoga, and yeah, like I wasn't really like her type. I don't think the like tattooed Persian dude who's into metal, like that's just like an anomaly, There's literally 2 of those in the world and they're sitting right here, like. It's a miracle that we even came together, but like, yeah, dude, like through going to yoga, like. That was like the connecting tissue of like me and my fiance's relationship, and then she ended up coming to like Jiu-Jitsu, and it wasn't really like her thing, but she did it, because like she was like, maybe I told her, I was like, yo, this was like something that I tried and really helped, but like some of her best friends came off the mats, like it's cool to see how things kind of go, and like she probably would have never thought, like if you asked her that life would be the way it is now, like she'd be like here, engaged to me, like all this stuff, like she's in law school right now, like which is like crazy to me. I'm like, dude, like I've never seen someone study so much in my life, but like even through that, it's like inspired me to go back into school, so it's like going back to the idea of community, Just like surrounding yourself with people like who actually care about you, sometimes even more than you care about yourself, you know, and it's like they want good things for you. And I would say that's like the basis of like me and Bobby's relationship. But not only that, we've like really brought that into the work that we do. Like sometimes, like if not a lot of times, we have to care for our clients more than they care for themselves. And that's like the hard part of treatment, because sometimes you got to like essentially be the bad guy, you know, which is a part of my journey, you know. Like Bobby's had to like tell me like, yo dude, you're like fucking up, like you need to stop, like I care about you and I don't want to see you like make these choices or like go down this path.
And he's done that, and he's had to do that to me.
Yeah, you know, so it's like, it's just like surrounding yourself with people who are willing to care for you more than you care for yourself, you know, which is like, sometimes I'm sure you kind of know it too. It's like the missing piece of like our being. It's like, I don't care for myself like I should. And that's probably why I do the things that I do that have led me to like need the recovery.
Yeah. In my situation, I would have never started making videos if my girlfriend didn't tell me to, because, well, I started it and then I was immediately going to give it, like, just stop doing it, because I found that I start and stop a lot. I don't know what part of me that is, but like I do it a lot. And she said, no, keep doing it. Like, you messed up bad the first one. This part sucked. This part could be better. And I was like, oh, well, whatever, fine, I'll do one more.
Ouch,
and it
okay.
clicked. Yeah. But she was right. And so, you know, through a lot of repetition and actually sticking to the things that I've done, I've found a bit of a purpose, you could say, in my recovery. But it wouldn't have happened without her, really, without external motivation, the people you surround yourself with.
More than you care for yourself.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
100%.
And it's like, yeah, just keep showing up, right?
And there's a part of us that like already know, but we need to have someone that we respect give us that push. Because you know, I always had like more time with him, more experience than Nima like in the beginning, but now like he's very much my equal and like my closest friend, and I trust what he has to say. So there's a lot of times where I'm not seeing things clearly, and everybody else in the world can be like, dude, you're like fucking this up, like get that butt out of here. And then he'll be like, no, dude, like, or like, dang, really? And like I'll trust his perspective on me.
That's good to have.
Yeah, dude. It's like those little moments too where I'm like, wait, that worked?
And we handle things very differently too.
Yeah. Yeah, as much as we're alike, we're like really different in a lot of those.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, dude. And it's cool to have those moments, you know. It's like sometimes like today, like I can hit up that dude Josh, and like we're like, it almost feels like he makes it feel this way, where I still look up to him, but like it's like we're peers. You know, and that's like the best part, and that's what I hope for like the clients that we have here. It's like, dude, one day let's like just be peers.
Yeah.
So like, and we don't have to be like friends or anything, you know, but like let's just like be on the same level. It's like, hey, we're doing this thing one day at a time. You know, like what you're going through is what I'm going through. I'm just trying to like live my life to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Just like day by day, and like try not to hurt other people or hurt myself in the process. And like, that's it, dude. There's no hierarchy anymore, you know, but like we gotta like get on the path and stay on the path. And like, even if we fall down or trip up, like that's a part of there, you know? Yeah, like been through treatment once. I have to, like, who knows? I might have to go again, but they're fine. That's, yeah, dude. But like, even if I did, you know, it's like, hey man, that's the way it needs to be. And hopefully I come out better, you know. That might be something that I missed, you know, that I needed to figure out, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
I hope not.
That'd
But
be weird, you know?
yeah. On that note, should we wrap for the episode then?
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
let's do it.
All right. You hit the outro then for us.
All right, guys, thanks for watching the Art Lab Podcast, episode 5. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
Thanks, Rob.
for having me.
Thank you guys.